Welcome to Stakeholder Management. This is a pretty important chapter for your life, not just for the certification. So, stakeholder management is soft skill. It's a life skill. Stakeholder management is all about your communication, your ability to influence and get things done from your proposal colleagues. So, what is a stakeholder management? As you already mentioned, it's about effective communication among your proposal teams. So there are different concepts of how you can do this effectively, which we will touch in the next 5 odd minutes. But before we move into that, what are some of the needed skills that is included or that's required to be a good stakeholder manager? Number one, you need to have the ability to influence. Number two, you need to have the ability to do negotiations. Number three, you should have the ability to do conflict management. And number four, obviously, you should have good communication skills. So what are some of the best practices in stakeholder management? Number one, as I mentioned, you should have the ability to influence the behaviors. The behavior comes from you. As a character of you as a leader will dictate what sort of bid culture is being engraved in your company. So to influence the behaviors, you should influence the value that you believe in to your team and then take them through the journey. So how can we effectively influence the behavior and affect their behaviors going forward? So that's a key important thing so that you could support the objectives of the bid, and also it helps you to win the trust of your colleagues, not just on this bid, but on your work-life balance. So that's one. So let's look at some of the theoretical frameworks, so some concepts that gives you some level of insight between stakeholder management. The first one that we will be touching is Montana and Sharrow's 7 stages of power. Let's look at one stage at a time. Number one, legitimate power. This comes from the authority, from you or from your job title, so that people know that you are the leader, you have the title, so let me follow you. Point number one. Point number two, it's about reward. Your ability to reward your team. This normally comes with a line manager, because most of the big teams doesn't normally report among themselves. You have a matrix structure, but if you have the ability to reward your team, at least by emails, post completion, get some awards, even a certificate, something, a meal out, comes with power, reward power. Little things, even a thank you message goes a long way. How can you make that happen? Think about it. Number three, it's coercive power. This is completely opposite to your reward power. Here you pretty much intimidate, get things done. It's late, it's long. I don't want you to go in the evening. I want you to come in the weekend to get things done. Coercive, pretty much intimidating your colleagues. It's a type of power, could be old style, not relevant anymore. You need to get the buy-in from your team to make things happen. So point number four, it's expert power. People respect you because of your knowledge. People respect you because you are a domain expert. You know what you're doing. You have been doing it for a very long time. That comes with the power. Number four, charisma. This is all about your personal relationship, the way you approach a person, the way you interact, your genuine way of reaching out to people. Charismatic power. Regardless of your title, people love you. He's a good person. That's charismatic. Number 4, 5, or 6 actually is reflect power. What that meant is your referent power, your association. Okay, you know someone who is important. You have ... to a senior person, something like that. So you know the buyer, you know someone important. It comes with association power. So people sometimes respect you. They follow you because you are connected to somebody whom they value. Build a relationship. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The last one is informative power. Beyond knowledge, you have information about the client, you have information about the project, you know more about the company. That comes with its own power. So 7 different forms of power to build relationship. So what's the other one? Cialdini, the legend Cialdini's 6 influencing framework, 6 principles of influence. Number 1 is reciprocity. Before you ask for something, have you given enough so that people are willing to give back to you? Or if you're giving back now, what sort of relationship that you're going to build with the person so that he gives back something on a later day? Reciprocity is important. Number 2, commitment. Commitment is consistency, your ability to consistently build a relationship, consistently get things done. What that meant is people don't pursue you as is one-off something, or just going to come to me, get things done, and walk away. You won't even see me by eyes when I cross the path. You know what? Be consistent. So number 3, social proof. Social proof, testimonial. Social proof tells you your track record. People will value relationship. You have your track record of success. As you always say, success of many fathers. Are you one of those fathers or mothers? Liking. You already touched the charismatic power in the previous framework. People need to like you, love you before you even work with you. What's the likability factor that you have, you as a person? And number 5 is authority. Authority is your status. Authority comes from you. You can take the authority yourself. Nobody is going to give you regardless of the power. Or if you genuinely have the authority, what are you using the authority to do? The big and better things. And the last point is scarcity. Only you know how things could be done. This is the only project and only you can do it. Scarcity is all about, as the word says, is limited to a certain number, limited to you as a person. So Cialdini's 6 influencing principles, so very key. And the last one is pretty much 6 steps, but let's go through one at a time. It's Cohen and Bradford influence models. Let's go through the 6 steps quickly. Number 1, you start with assuming everybody around you is going to be an ally. They all are going to be friends. You know what? Let me give them a chance. Let me trust them. And if they don't perform, if they don't work in the right way, then let the water comes down. Not just to say you need to build trust. I'm an empty bottle. Start with full bottle. Then you just see whether lack of trust means you're losing the water. So all parties are allies. Clarify your goals and objective. I am building this relationship. This is my goal. This is my objective. Let me know what yours are and let's find a common ground and we'll work through the common ground. Next, diagnose the world of the other person. As I already mentioned, this is me. Tell me more about you. Once you know that, then identify the relevant blockages or identify what they call the values that the other person believes in. Identify your values and get together and deal with the relationship and influence the other party. So it's pretty much a step-by-step thing, not like the checklist over there. It just follows a set pattern. It's a good one. Think about the 3 frameworks that we talked about: Montana, Cialdini, and then Bradford. So let's see what we can do. So now you have got the relationship. You know what? We won't always agree, so you need to negotiate. Negotiate comes in 2 forms. It could be competitive negotiating, which means like all about me, let me get everything from you, or it's a collaborative thing. Let's talk about win-win. So for any form of negotiation, you need to follow 6 critical steps. Step 1, you plan. Step 2, once you have the plan, you discuss the plan. Step 3, you propose the plan. This is my plan. Next, you start to bargain. These are 10 things that's important for me. These are 10 things important for you. Let's try to bargain. Now you bargain, start to agree. Okay, I'm giving up on that. Will you be giving up on this? No, I'm not going to stick with this. This is it. This is my clause. I'm going to stick with it. And finally, you agree. And at last, you start to implement the negotiation. The 6 steps that goes from there. There is also another form of how negotiation strategies can be structured. Number 1 is you as a person, you could accommodate their needs. But see whether you are always the person who's accommodating, the other person is never accommodated, which means you might feel bad that you are only losers and they are taking advantage of you. Number 1. Second one is avoiding. You know what? I'm just going to take everything away from you. I don't want to listen to anymore. Completely avoid. Not a great format, but there are people who are good at doing that. There are people who are successful in doing that. Number 3 is once we avoid it, collaborating. We already touched that win-win. Let's work through the thing. And then we talk about competing, which is not far away from avoiding, but somewhere between avoiding and collaborating is this element of competing, which is like, you know what, I will do all it takes to win this bit, but I want to avoid you because it's important for me to win. And the last point is compromising, which is like, you know what, I understand, I want to collaborate, but at the same time I'm willing to compromise for this relationship. So it's stakeholder management, your ability to influence, your ability to negotiate, your ability to manage the conflicts, and your ability to communicate with your team. 3 different frameworks, negotiation methods. How do you stakeholder manage your team and everybody around you? Very important topic, but so much beyond that. It's a life skill.